What is up, everybody? CStheory101 here. Today I'm going to be teaching a class on CT spawns, go over each spawn position, and where to maximize your success at each one of these locations. I'm going to take you through each spawn and give you a couple tips and tricks on certain plays that you can make in each one. I'm also going to be joined by my brothers and some of my friends, so let's hop on over there and get started. I've got my two brothers, Stoveface and Husky, and Kiwi, and my good friends Kiwi and Frank. So I was gonna say nobody move, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go over the spawn positions. So I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but the spawn positions are always the same 5 spawn positions right here. It obviously will move us around in these positions. There's like a default setup that people use. The spawns actually really matter. I guess we'll go through them one by one, which, as you can probably guess, the one that Anne Frank and Husky are in, are A site positions. And then we got 2 B site positions, essentially. And then the one that Kiwi is in is the mid-window position, because it gets to the window fastest. You could also probably go window from my position, but more than likely it's that one. So I was just going to take you through where each position usually plays. It's for like maximum coverage of information on the map. So anyway, I guess we'll go over let's go over A site first. So A site, you're gonna have 2 people here. There's usually one person actually playing A site, A anchor, and then another person that's kind of in between mid and A, plays like connector at A site. So I'll go over the A anchor first, which normally as an A anchor, you kind of just hide, honestly. You don't need to fight, you don't need to take fights. It's not necessary to. You can just kind of wait for them. You know, you can hide in triple or firebox or sandwich or under palace. Under palace is usually the go-to for a lot of people. Just play right here. You're just trying to hear them. You kind of maybe want to play under palace so that you can hear them ramp or palace. And to start the round, hopefully your connector player would throw like util, like into ramp. So just like start with the round with a molly or something. And then they'd run over here. That just stops the initial push. Essentially, you're just anchoring A. That is the position, obviously, right? So
hold it so you can.
Yeah, hold it, and then make callouts as soon as you hear info. It's all about gathering info. So that's the first position. I guess we can go to the next position, which is like the mid connector, also / A site position. So whenever I play this position myself, at least, I'm the one that throws the molly for the A player. And then I also usually throw a smoke that usually you want to land like right here, basically. You can just bounce it off the wall. It doesn't really have to be exact, whatever. And you don't have to either. Obviously, this is all very loose. It's just kind of about positioning. But you can play off of this smoke by, like, you know, playing in lower mid. You go all the way through it because it's shallow on the left-hand side. You can just play up here. You're helping your mid player. And also, if we go back to, like, triple box, let's rewind a little bit. My bad. Like a normal play that I do is probably like throw the molly here, and then you can throw a flash actually like up over this wall, which flashes for your mid player, your mid window player, and then throw a smoke. And so that's kind of like see, I kind of messed that up because they can see right here. That's fine because you could play off this still and get vision here. That's kind of the connector player's job, is to hold, you know, connector. And also, obviously, if your team is saying, oh, I hear all of them over A, then you can just rotate quickly up here and, you know, take space, get a pinch or a crossfire going or something. Well, let's just go over, I guess the next position would be mid window position. Obviously, it's played with an op. You're obviously going to play inside of window right here. Normally, like, you want to try to get here as fast as you can, because right when you're about here, there's already going to be people up there. It's almost like the very first fight of the map, basically. A lot of times, obviously, you just get smoked off from window.
Okay.
To play around this, you can actually just, if you have an HE grenade, if you want to try to be aggressive, if you're playing window, you can just chuck it upwards. It breaks the smoke, and you can see through it, and you can shoot people through it.
True, yeah.
If you don't want to be aggressive, that's all fine and dandy. You can just try to listen for information or try to support your A players. I don't know, just be aware of what's kind of going on the map. Mainly what I do in window is just op from window. You're just trying to gain information and get the early picks to give your team the advantage, you know? So,
What would be the main points people would be coming from here?
top of mid.
Top of mid, not
So,
underneath?
top of mid, so this is a big thing about kind of what I'm teaching as well, but just the whole game, any map, whatever, is timings, learning the timings. So when you peek mid window, the very first place you should always look is going to be top mid. There's nowhere else on the entire map that they could possibly be except for top of mid in the first couple seconds. I don't know exactly how many seconds, couple seconds when you're in top of mid window. So you don't even have to worry about underpass right away because they can't be there. No, the timing of spawns is it's not possible for them to be underpass at that time. So learning like spawn timings and also spawn positionings, that's kind of why it's all associated with our spawn points, is because if I were in one of the A spawn points, and I tried to play window, the T would beat me out, and they'd already be peeking top of mid by the time I'm trying to peek it, and they'd be able to, you know, kill me first. So it's actually important to play specifically that spawn for that position. This whole default positioning that I'm even kind of showing it's about getting information. It puts one player in each ideal location to get basically maximize the information you can get. So the next spawn would be a catwalk. Basically, that's the next area. We'll all run over there. If you're the cat player, I think you should always Molotov apartments as well for your teammate. It just helps them. Unless they specifically ask you not to, it's just going to help slow down the T's if they're doing a B rush. You can hear them burn in the fire, you know, you can get information. It's just very important to do that. So catwalk though, this position, and this is also very important for someone that can hear very well, because you can hear them in apartments, you can hear them if they go underpass, and you can hear them if they're rushing catwalk or whatever. I will say that you don't necessarily have to peek mid here. You can choose to push up if you want to, but honestly, you could just sit right here and wait for them in this position. A lot of times it does get smoked, and let's say it does get smoked, you could have a boost spot. If you do have a teammate here with you, you could boost over this brick if you didn't know that and jump on top of it. You don't need to fight for your life here. It's not necessarily a site. You can fall back to site. You don't have to always fight for your life in the position that you're at. You can always fall back. Because if you're out here and you peek mid and there's 3 of them and you die, you're basically just giving them the site anyway. So you should just try to fall back, wait for your teammates, tell them that yes, they are pushing cat, that sort of thing. If you do want to play aggressive, I will just tell you the timing here is like right when you're about right here. They can already be just about right here in mid. If they have the best spawn on T side, they can already be here. So knowing that timing is important, that you're not caught off guard, you know, or already here shooting you if you're trying to push mid cat. I think that kind of concludes catwalk. Go over the last positioning, I guess, real quick, which is apartments, the apartments player. Apartments is also not necessary to fight for your life. You know, you don't have to go rush into apartments and die. The objective, you're always trying to keep the objective in mind. The objective is to defend the site. So realistically, what like so many people do is you don't even have to get up into apartments. You can literally jump spot right here. You just come up to this wall, and then you don't have to move your mouse. You don't have to do anything. Just press A. Just go left or right, I mean, and then left and jump. And you want to jump spot like this in a way where it's very difficult for them to hit your head. So you're not just sitting here jumping like this, because they can easily shoot you if you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get information. It's all about information. So obviously, you're going to start with the Molotov up here. If they're rushing, you'll hear them burning and the footsteps. or in the fire, I mean. You're just jump spotting for information. You don't have to fight at all. Default spawn positions aren't necessarily always just like getting the best timing and taking every fight that happens. It's just about getting here to see if the enemy's coming here. And let's say you do jump spot and they're here. If you have a smoke, which you probably should have a smoke still by this time, best thing you could do is literally just drop a smoke right below your feet right here. This is actually very, very, very useful. Playing around this smoke, I mean. That's all of the spawn locations. Of course, you just need to be very aware of your mini-map. Can be at all times. Just a little bit of tips of how to play each spot. As soon as you have information of where they're at, because you have a player now in apartments and a cat and mid and connector and A site. That's all that's a whole line across the map there. Yeah, you can pretty much get all the information you need to say, hey, they're over here. Either rotate over here because I hear all 5 of them, or oh, they're just faking or whatever, you know. So all the positions I showed is not like an every round thing. It's normally like they call it default. That's the default positioning for CT side. It's just to, you know, get everyone in a good spot to, you know, basically maximize your information that you can get. In pistol rounds and other things, it's not like that, you know, it's not like you have to follow it to a T. It's also not like the spawn positions you always have to follow to a T or anything either. It's just kind of getting in, like, you know, you could do that. You could basically just be like, okay, let's just play default spawns or whatever, and then everyone would go, you know, everyone would know where to go. No one would be running around like, oh, wait, where do I play at? What am I trying to do?
Understanding those default positions, whether you're a CT or a T, that's going to give you a lot of information. So if you're pushing B, hey, I know there's probably going to be a cat player and
Yeah.
probably a site player.
Right.
And then same with A, hey, I know there's going to be somebody probably anchored on A and somebody probably anchored on, you know,
like connector,
say
stairs.
connector or stairs. If you start to push a site and there's only one person there, you have to think they either heard you or they know that their teammate died. So because of that, they're hiding or they're going to do something to try and retake the site.
Yes, my friend and Frank is exactly correct there. Even if you're playing on the T side, you should be aware of these positions because there's usually never just one person on a site. They play in these positions where they can easily rotate to help their teammates, as you should as well by playing these positions. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will produce more videos. Also, thank you to my friends and my brothers for being able to join me. I will be giving them more classes in the future. I hope that you got value from this video. Leave comments for future video ideas that you might want to see me do in a classroom setting with my brothers and friends, and we will make it happen. Thank you very much. Stay sneaky beaky out there. Goodbye.